And I was amazed at what I saw her doing, And when I came back, when I saw her, I did not really think about marriage. It was how I was praying that image of what she was doing really came to my mind.
You're sure you did not think?
No, I did not think. I did not.
Sure.
Yeah, I did
Okay.
not. I did not. It was when I came out, I was praying that image came to my mind.
Because I saw you thinking.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to Sought Afters with the Sonkeys. Today is not just Sought Afters with Sonita, but it's Sought Afters with the Sonkeys. For a special reason. Today is our 5th anniversary. In fact, we've been married for 5 good years. And we are here today to answer questions that young people in a different WhatsApp group that we mentor have sent to us about our journey so far in marriage. They want to know how our 5 years marriage have been. Right away, my hero here will go ahead and read the questions from the boys' WhatsApp group that they sent to him while we answer together. After that, I will read the ladies' WhatsApp group and I'll also answer together. Please stay tuned to the end. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. It's amazing that God has been able to keep us for, these past 5 years. It's like just 5 days or 5 months you have wrote so far. I can't imagine 16th of March 2019, we are already the 16th of March 2024. We are so grateful and we are thankful to God. We will just be as brief as possible with the questions, and if you need any details, of course, most of you are in our different WhatsApp groups. You can always ask for more flesh. Okay, the first question that I'll be answering is, the person asks, how do you resolve conflicts whenever there is a disagreement? Maybe when you want something to be done in a particular way and your wife wants that it should be done in another way. Actually, we before getting married, we were aware that there are going to be disagreement with the fact that we are coming from different background, different way of training and experiences in life. So we are aware of that there are going to be disagreement. Those disagreements are not because we are not compatible. They are not because we hate one another, but they are simply because we are coming from different backgrounds. So that's one thing that we already know. Now, in solving disagreement, we decided that since the consequence of disagreement is always anger, when there is disagreement, the consequence is anger and conflict. We decided never to sleep over an issue that we have a disagreement in. That is one of the things we have to, and that was inspired by Ephesians chapter 4 verse 26, which says that you should not let the sun go down while you are still angry. Because disagreement is actually what brings anger in marriage. And so we quickly make up. I cannot remember a day that I and my wife went to bed sleeping over a problem, a disagreement I will have during the day. Either we'll go to sleep, maybe if we even forget about it, one person will remember. Maybe if I remember, I will tell her, this thing that we had, this is the issue. And we'll discuss about it. Or if it's that we just rush over it, we'll come back to me and say, so we resolve that at the beginning. And secondly, when we have a disagreement, of course, there are moments that we will, either my wife will just say, okay, let's allow these things and talk about it later on. Because when disagreement come up, we'll start quarreling, we'll shout and all of that. We'll just discover that the Bible says we should let not awesome talk come up out of your mouth. And to avoid us keep using words that may hurt one another, we will just say, okay, you know what, let's stop. Then recently during our marriage retreat that we're having together, another principle of disagreement that God gave us, which was like an application for us, we will have a disagreement. One person will just say, please, let's pray over this. Can we pray? So in the midst of that disagreement, somebody can just say, can we pray? And in the course of praying, you will discover that at the end of it all, we actually end up solving the problem amicably and in a way that it's more peaceful.
That's very true. Before coming to marriage, I did not really agree with myself and the fact that there will be conflict. We talked about it during our courtship, but I kept wishing that conflict should never happen. When we just got married, if something came up where there's conflict, I'll just cease. I'll just get quiet. I'll not talk. I'll just want to push it under the carpet, and he will keep hitting on the issue. But then, as we transition, he made me to understand that we should not be pushing things under the carpet. Even I realized that as I'm pushing things under the carpet, it is making my marriage worse. So over time, I started talking more.
Yeah, so basically, I think that's what we can say concerning the aspect of how God has been helping us find the disagreement for these past 5 years, and we are still learning. We are still learning more.
We are still learning. We have not graduated yet.
In fact, there's no graduation because we keep discovering areas of disagreement every day. But God has been helping us be minimizing them. Now she even talks more than me.
No.
Of course, you bring on more issues now more than the way I do.
Well, that's why I bring up issues more. Like, but when I bring up issues, you have more to say than me. I have more to say of it.
The next question is, what are the things that you have learned in marriage that they are like a surprise to you? Actually, when I say a surprise to me, I have very positive surprises, of course, and I also have others that they are like a real surprise. As you, I know what we say, real surprise, of course. You know, one of the greatest things that I've discovered about marriage is the fact that the Bible says that two are better than one. Yeah, that is a very big surprise. You know, I used to hear us tell me that two are better than one, but I didn't really understand. It was like, you know, or I did not really think deep about it. But marriage has really helped me to understand that when you and your wife are really in alignment, two actually become better than one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And growing up about seeing other marriages and other people and the way they speak about marriage was like marriage was actually coming to reduce something in you. Mm. Yeah, but the biggest surprise I discovered that marriage actually comes to add. Mm. And the next surprise is don't just adding, but adding in character, you know, work, you know, spiritual growth itself. I can tell you, I've come to discover, you know, as a big surprise, that marriage is really where character development takes place.
Oh, yes.
That is the biggest surprise.
Yes,
that can summarize.
That's right.
That's the biggest surprise. In fact, we have gone to a point where I believe that if somebody is not married, don't even talk about character development yet until you are married. Before you can really be able to talk that you are a humble person, you are a patient person, you are a generous person, you are a selfless person. Wait until you get married before you will know. It is in marriage that most of my character that I developed like a single have been tested. So this is a big surprise that have really shocked me. And I discovered that growing spiritually, marriage have really been is a blessing for me to even grow spiritually. And even in achievement, been a blessing to me. Mm-hmm. So these are some of the silent surprises that I've discovered in our marriage as being for these 5 years.
In fact, that one has been a surprise for me too, because I knew I was marrying my friend and I didn't see why I would need to develop my character so seriously too. Another surprise marriage has for me is how different we are as men and women. For example, there are things I expect my husband to just know. For example, that like when I say that I'm angry, he should know exactly what to do. Like maybe a fellow woman will know that if I say I'm angry, they'll come and and say, what is it? What is making you angry? Sorry. No, I expected him to know, but I was surprised that I have to teach him how to treat me. And the things I'm also doing for him, that I'm doing him good, he says that's not how he wants it. He's teaching me how to treat him as a man. So I just realized that men and women are different. And despite how compatible we are different.
Yeah.
We are different in the way we expect things to be done.
It's really a big surprise in marriage.
Yeah.
We really discover when we say men and women are different, it's really big, it's huge. It's actually huge. The difference is actually huge. It's like people coming from two different planets and they are trying to live in a single planet. In fact, it's huge.
Sure.
It's really, really huge. You'll be doing your time knowing that you're really doing your best as a man, but meanwhile, what you are doing, you're actually hurting your wife. But you were really doing it like helping her, and she'll be doing something that she really thinks she's killing it and she's helping you, but at the end of it all, she realizes your response. So it's a big surprise. We just realize we need to be listening to one another, you know,
teaching each other how to treat you,
being patient. And another minor surprise just come up is that knowledge is not equal to doing. You know, we used to be, before I and my wife got married, we have read a lot of books about marriage. We have done a lot of study. We read books. I can tell you, I read more than 30 books on marriage. All sorts of books I read. She was reading, I was reading, we shared. So we knew that, we have a lot of knowledge. Now, when we come in, we'll just be leaving. So at times, we are very surprised that, she will tell me, and that was the more dangerous part of it. Because we're like, you know this thing, why are you doing? And like, the person is doing intentionally, but we came to discover that knowing is not equal to doing.
Sure.
You need to be patient with each other. With time, the person grows to implement what you actually know. So that's one of the big surprises that we have learned, to be patient with each other, striving towards helping one another to become better in the Lord and even in our character.
Sure.
Yeah. But what are the things that you wish you would have done when you were single, but now you are already married? And for me, I think that one of the greatest things that if I'm being, given the chance to be single now, I will want to really, really deepen myself intentionally in my self-development and also maybe my word and prayer life. Yeah, let me give you a very common example. When I used to be single, I would close my door and spend even a day, 2 days without even opening it. Maybe when I'm having a retreat, I'll spend time praying, studying the word, memorizing and doing things, and I'll close my door just to pray, and I'll take a 1 week retreat. When I'm in that retreat, I off my phone. I don't entertain any call and all of that. But now, I just found myself in marriage. I thought I would be doing those things. But unfortunately, by the time I'm getting on to pray, maybe by 2 or 3 o'clock, Sonny Luisa is shouting. And maybe her mother is not around, I need to give an attention. Even if I'm in the prayer room, I will have to run. And at the time I'm doing that is not comfortable. I feel like if I was a single, I would do this thing better. So the truth is, these things really affects you, but the beautiful thing about it is that there's a balance, because there are moments that things that I would have not been able to do while I'm in a retreat, my wife is able to still do them. Yeah. And lastly, there are areas of my life that they are so independent that if I'm being given a chance to do them, that area of my life, like some self-development area that I would have loved to really develop them. But if I want to strive in my marriage now to do that, I'll clash. So I'll need to wait to make sure that my wife comes to that same level and we agree. Like we said, we don't want to be disagreeing. What are things that I may really want to do them, but they are good, but
it's not time.
It's not time.
It's not even possible
now. So, but I just have to give up. So my advice to most young people now is that, please, whatever you know that you cannot give up on it, even if you are married, make sure you do it, and you do it to the deepest time now completely before you think about marriage. Don't come in marriage and you're forcing certain things that you must go. Maybe you wanted to travel abroad. If you want to travel abroad, travel now and come back. Because you can get into marriage and your wife tells you, this is not the time that I feel I have to travel abroad, and you'll be entangled. If you wanted to study and reach at one level, and you think that if you must do it at this for this number of years, and you know that getting married, if something stops you, you must do it. You better go ahead and study and reach there before getting married, because you can get into marriage and your marriage environment, the condition of your marriage doesn't permit you to move ahead. If you move ahead, it may cause a lot of problems to the marriage. So that is actually some of the issues that I've discovered, as a marriage person, that I would like to let single know that they should not make that error.
Yeah, it's really true. For me, if you send me back to be single right now, I'll just enjoy my time. I mean, I will use the time that I have in the best possible way, making sure that I do all the things I wish to do and leave enough time to enjoy myself, like just leisure to an extent. It comes with responsibilities, right? And the responsibilities are taking a lot of time. You don't get to find enough time for yourself. And take, for example, like if I choose now that I want to go for a vacation, it's a whole system. We need to plan how the baby will go, how we'll go as a family of 3. Or single, I can choose today that I'm going for a vacation tomorrow, and I will go. So I'll enjoy myself better if you put me back as a single. I'll not postpone any of my enjoyment.
Go for your date yourself. Go to the expensive restaurants you can go as a single. Go to places that you want to go, so long as you can be able to go do it now as a single. Don't think that when you get married, that's when you'll be able to do all of those things.
That's right.
The environment may not allow you to do so.
How does it feel marrying a missionary? How does it feel trusting God to raise finances from supporters so you can manage your family? Being the wife of a missionary is amazing. It's totally amazing. I'm one of those girls that grew up saying that I'll not marry a man of God because I did not want the wahala that comes with it. But by the time my husband proposed to me, it made it clear to me that it's about to go into full-time ministry. And how did I feel at that time? I felt afraid. I'll not even lie. I felt afraid that time. But then I had to see God's face to understand how I'll go from there. But then God gave me a word. He told me that on the mountain of the Lord will provide. And when I had that conviction that on the mountain of the Lord will provide, it gave me the boldness to go ahead, no matter what. In fact, I'm not even seeing my husband as my provider. I trust him as my husband, like it's his responsibility. Like if I need something and I can't afford it, I'll ask him. But God has revealed himself as the provider, and he has been fulfilling that promise from there till now. It has never been different from if I married a doctor or if I married somebody doing a different job or an engineer or whatsoever.
Yeah, and of course she was already into mission before I even proposed to her. She was already having a passion for that. Maybe I always tell her that even if you did not get married to me, I'm sure you would have gotten into mission even by yourself, even without you having to be my wife. Because my reason of going to her was because I saw that she was already a missionary, and her visions. She was somebody who was close to me. Her vision, what she always shared with me, was very clear that she was somebody that was trusting God to do even greater things beyond the borders of Cameroon. One of the things that is very crazy is the question of finances is what many people always ask to missionary, but
That's right.
that is not the problem. The problem is
That's the least of
that's
it.
even the least of it. We don't want to use the opportunity to tell you that the problem of finances is not even the issue. There are more greater fears as a missionary. Getting to new territory where you don't even understand how the demons of that land operate, and you are trusting God that you'll be able to save souls and break that ground. We have more fears in that area more than thinking, because I don't think it's difficult. I think it's more difficult for God to it's more difficult to save souls and
Yes.
bring new ground.
Yes.
It's more difficult to trust God to do that than trusting God to provide. I mean, provision is something very simple to God. So I cannot
Yes.
downgrade God to that level where I feel that I can be trusting God that He will use me to break mountains and bring the gospel to strong places. Why not being able to trust Him that He will provide? Then it means that it's an issue of selfishness. It has nothing to actually do with God's ability to provide. So
That's right.
God has been able to help us, two of us, to grow to that point where we know, and He have asked us this question: if we can trust Him that He will use us in land that we don't even know, then how come we will not be able to trust Him that He can provide? Which one is more difficult? I mean, it's a question that you yourself should be able to answer.
How did you meet your husband? And did you know, or were you 100% sure he is the man you want to marry? And what convicted your husband to that you are the one he wants to marry? I met my husband first in school. We were
No, I do not. You did not meet me in school. How can you say you met your husband? I was not your husband then. I was not.
I was worried that. But that is when I first met you.
Yeah, not as your husband. Not as your husband.
I've not met my husband in school. That's all I know. Yes, and I was sure that he's my husband. We were friends, and after seeing his character and everything, he had everything that I wanted in a husband. I knew in my heart the kind of person I wanted for a husband, especially character-wise and so on. So when I saw his character, his lifestyle, his vision, his love for God, his love for people, not only me, if he could care for anybody, even somebody he doesn't know. I think did I fall in love? I grew in love for him even before he ever discovered that I was his wife. He stayed until the love almost died before he was coming. Yes, so
Yeah, she's right. I actually met her while we were students in school in 2011, and I started discipling her, and she was one of the ladies that were in the Bible study I was leading on campus. Then after 3 years, we separated. She went to teach in a different place while I was in another place. Then 2017, when I started praying for a wife, God brought her to my mind, and I was 100% sure that she was my wife. Yeah, I was sure, because I was, like I said in the other question, I saw the way she was involved in mission, her character, her level of concern for people. She was one of the one of the people that used to pray for my ministry when I'm going for an outreach or somewhere. She was always part of the people that would always pray and find out how it was going. There were many people praying in that team, but I think those things became very clear. The fact that I knew her even before I even thought about marriage, even before thinking about marriage, I've already observed her several years without any marriage attachment to my or any bias thought. Yeah, so I was 100% sure that she was the lady that I needed in my life.
wow. What was the state of your relationship with God when your husband showed up? Were you content or you weren't satisfied with singleness? At that point, I was okay. At the point when he came, I was okay. But before then, I was totally desperate to get married, and God was just looking at me and laughing. When the time passed completely, and I was like, okay, God, I have other things I'm doing with you now. I was busy serving my God. I was too busy for a relationship when he came. I could barely even create time. So that's it. Like I said earlier, when I was very much in love, he did not come. It's when I forgot about him and focused on God. Now he saw me.
You know, the songs of songs tells us how we should not awaken love until it is due. So most of the time, yeah, when I thought about my wife, in fact, I was not really thinking about marriage. I just discovered that in seasons where you are desperate about marriage as a single, there are very wrong seasons. You can easily make a wrong decision
Sure.
when you are desperate. That's why the Songs of Song 3 verse 5 tells us that daughters of Jerusalem are charged you by the gates and by the doors of the thief. Do not arouse or awaken love until it is so desired. The truth is, when you awaken love, when you are in that desperate moment that you think that you need marriage, many people will tell you, in fact, interview many marriage women that they are in good marriages. I don't mean those who are managing their marriages. Those who are enjoying their marriage, they will tell you that the phase of their life where they were desperate, they were tired of singleness, wanted to most married and all of that. At that stage of their life, if they dare made any decision, it would have been a wrong marriage.
Yeah, that's right.
I myself, there was a season in my life, there was a year in my life that was crazy, like I need to get married and all of that. And God allowed me to make some errors. And after that season, I had to go into hibernation. And I was focusing all on the work of God, and I was doing only what I have to do. I was so concerned, I was so busy that by the time I was even thinking about marriage, I didn't even have time. So I didn't even have time for that. I had to actually create time for that. And by that moment, I was more in my thoughts than the way I was in my emotion.
Yeah.
So when you arouse love before the time, you discover that you become impatient. You'll be desperate. You'll be feeling like singlehood is a curse and all of that. But when you are love is being aroused at the right time, when God is the one arousing the love in you, you'll be very calm. You'll feel confident in yourself, and you will realize that you'll be acting out of reasoning and not out of emotions.
That's right.
Yeah, so all of us were at our best time. We are really
busy serving the Lord.
We have discovered our purpose, and we're really crazy in our purpose.
The amazing thing is that he was supposed to come and monitor the work I'm doing there in my own locality.
Yeah.
He rather came and monitor me and not the work.
I came to go and monitor work to see how she was. I was moving around looking at how the different teachers that were posted all over Cameroon, how they were doing ministry in their various places, so I could help them develop contextual strategy. And I was amazed at what I saw her doing, And when I came back, when I saw her, I did not really think about marriage. It was how I was praying that image of what she was doing really came to my mind.
You're sure you did not think?
No, I did not think. I did not.
Sure?
Yeah, I did not.
Okay.
I did not. It was when I came out, I was praying that image came to my mind.
Because I saw you thinking.
Okay, yeah, maybe I was thinking, I did not know.
Okay. Do you think God had prepared you for your marriage when you were single? If yes, in which areas of your life do you realize that God prepared you for marriage? Of character. He had to build patience by making me wait. He had to show me even the path of life, the purpose I'm supposed to be pursuing. I mean, he prepared me even domestically. I grew up in a family of many sisters, but God strategically removed me from that house, my own family, and placed me in another home where I was like the first child, having to do the cleaning, the cooking, and everything. So he prepared me in many different ways. How long did it take to give a reply to his proposal? It took me 4 months to give a reply to his proposal.
Yeah, up to 4 months.
Because you know what he did, you would take 1 year. The day he came to propose to me, he came with a long list of his life plan, which was a very demanding life plan. I had to hear God well, so I was
But I made things easy for you. I had my vision and everything written down, and I gave you that. Is this the type of man that you would like to get married? It was easy for you.
I actually loved you like a person. Like, I wanted you to be my husband, but what you were saying you want to spend your life doing was too demanding. So I had to hear God.
So you wanted to take time to develop conviction.
Exactly.
Okay. I was doubting why she took up to 4 months after knowing me for a very long time and all of that. I was surprised.
How many years did I know you for then?
You have known me for 7 years already. 7 years. I was surprised.
I knew a friend for 7 years, not a husband.
Okay.
So. to skip
I
that
now
little.
understand. I was just wondering why it took that long.
That was not long though. Before accepting that this proposal, did you have any word that backed you up, that confirmed that he's the one? Yes, like I said earlier, I liked him and saw the characteristics. What I needed the word for was for the vision, if I'll be able to be a helpmeet for that vision. And God gave me a word from him. Genesis 22, verse 14. That on the mountain of the Lord will provide. That when I come to that mountain, He will provide for me all I need to fit in as a good helpmate. So
Yeah, and of course, when you look at your that timeline,
yeah,
you will see a track record of the things that you have been doing and interested that you're in alignment with maybe what I was presenting to you. Yeah, I did not just come to you. I knew that you had a track record and what we call empirical facts that were in alignment with the things that I was actually seeing that they were complementary to the vision that God have given me. So
yeah.
those were some of the back of that. They could cancel any form of doubt.
Wow. Okay. I like the fact that He saw the me that I did not see. Were there weaknesses in him that made you to think twice? And as well, did you have any weaknesses by then that you were working on? If yes, how did you handle all of that? Yes, there were weaknesses in him that.
And there will always be weaknesses.
Yes, I was not expecting a perfect person. But I remember the particular day when we had our first disagreement. I came back and I could not sleep. I was wondering if I should break up or we should move on with the wedding. But then I realized that love is patient, love is kind, love does not keep a record of. I spent that night meditating on it, and by morning, God gave me the conviction to move on. Because I discovered a weakness that scared me, but then I was not expecting a perfect person, but that particular weakness scared me.
Yeah, of course, there will always be weaknesses. When we say weaknesses, I think we are just thinking about character issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there will always be character issue, and of course, that's the reason why we emphasize the fact that we get married to people who loves God and they are growing in their relationship with God.
That is key.
We
Growth.
already know. We knew that all of us had weaknesses, but the assurance that we have was that each and every one of us were working, make sure we become a better version of ourselves. None of us were comfortable with our weaknesses because each time we will manage with weaknesses come up as a result of a character issue. One person will always say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and we'll look for a way. We'll say, "This is how I'm struggling to get out of this," and that is what we'll continue doing in marriage. Those weaknesses always comes up, and they will always coming up. Marriage is a purification process,
Exactly.
and that's why as the day goes by and by, most single people see is that saying that
all the good people
are already married. And the single reason is because that purification has been taking place inside marriage.
Yeah.
It's not
even
like
right now we are still
seeing the purification process.
Yeah.
And what is giving us confidence is that each and every one of us, we are not comfortable with wrong character. My wife wants to become a better version of herself, and I want to become a better version of myself. So I'm not afraid when I discover a weakness in her. I know that when I point it out in the right way, I know that she's always happy that I should help her grow out of it. And when she points it out to me in the right way, like I say, in the right way, she helps me also and become accountable to helping me to see I can grow out of it. So
exactly.
that is why we were able to move ahead, even though we know that there were weaknesses. There is no perfect relationship.
Person. You meet a perfect person, run.
Don't run, you is an angel.
Yes,
so
an angel. It's not human.
You're not a human being. You have to run because you will spoil the person.
That's right. That was key. Next question. Before meeting him, what were your own plans or vision? In line with those plans, or you have cut them down in order to fully support him? Yes, I had my own plans or vision. In fact, I was already pursuing purpose. And ever since I got married to him, I've used my purpose and my plan to complement his purpose and his plans. And coincidentally, his purpose and plans are complementing mine. For example, he is a missionary, and I have a heart for ministry, but in a different path, like what we are doing here now, talking to young people about marriage. This is me fulfilling my purpose, and here he is complementary it, and it also fits well with his own. So we are complementing each other with our purposes. He has not twisted my purpose and put in the dustbin, and I've not been forced to squeeze it and throw. Just just in order to better support his own. It's easier to be a helpmate to him.
Yeah, actually, I struggle every day to make sure my wife fulfill her purpose in a better way, and she also is helping me to fulfill my purpose even better every day. So, because of that, I can say that my vision is we are still moving on. Each and every one of us, we are still moving on with our purpose. Like I said, my goal is to cultivate what my wife has for her to become a better version of herself, and she is also helping me to become a better version of myself. Let me fulfill the purposes of which God created me, and I'm also out to help her fulfill the purposes for which God created her, the purpose for which God created her. So the only difference can be the strategy in the way we wanted each and every one of us, the timing, the speed at which we wanted things to be done in each of our life purpose. But now the speed have calmed down. Maybe the strategy that I wanted to go about it may have changed, but the depth is we have gone more deeper. We have gone more deeper. So our plans are intact. We are following our purpose. It is dangerous for me destroying my wife's purpose. It's like using somebody to fulfill your purpose, and that's actually wickedness. And I think as singles, we need to be very careful that you don't get into a man life that will not help you grow in your purpose, because you will forever be in trouble. And you should not get into a man like that. You know you will not help that man to grow in his purpose, because you will cause that person to become in trouble. Because the only thing that makes people to be happy in life is fulfillment of purpose. It's not achievement. It's nothing. It's that they are fulfilling their purpose.
Last question, another question about disagreement. But it says, in times of disagreement, who always puts down ego and apologize, even when the person isn't the one at fault? Is it supposed to always be the woman? Is that submission?
Case specifically, let me say in our own case specifically, my wife is very fast to say, okay, I'm sorry. And maybe without even knowing the reason why she is sorry, or maybe without even her just wanting to make sure that we stop the argument or the conflict that we have. So she will always say that.
That's true.
But for me, what I do is, I always tell her I'm sorry, and that always happens during an interval. When I take time to think over what we have said, or maybe we can have a disagreement now, maybe we are disagreeing on something now, and maybe I don't really know what caused it. Most of the time, even when we say that we have solved the problem, I go back to my quiet time and I start praying. Because each time I'm having my quiet time, the first thing I do is always to check our marriage to see if there is something that we have been disagreeing on. I spend time to meditate and think how the situation started, and at the end of it all, if I was wrong, the Holy Spirit actually convinced me and showed me clearly that this is what happened. And if I'm wrong, I'll normally go and meet my wife and I tell her that, that thing that what we disagree on that day, and we just wrap it up like that, I really discovered that was the cause of it. So I'm really sorry. Or even within the argument, when I realize that, I'm actually the one who is the cause of this, I always stand and tell her that, please, I'm really sorry that I caused you to feel this way. Both of us, we always say sorry. She's not the only one who says she's sorry for something that maybe she doesn't know why it is going on. I always tell her that I'm sorry for that. Yeah, so it's not a woman thing, it's not a man thing.
It's not the man's thing.
Yeah.
I know there are two types of sorry that we always say in this our marriage. There is sorry to end the argument.
Yeah.
And there is sorry that you're really sorry
to solve the problem.
And we find that those two have worked for us.
Yeah.
So sometimes end the argument and discuss the issue later.
Exactly. So most of the time we just say, okay, it's over, and we discuss the issue later so that it doesn't affect our day.
That's it. Thank you very much if you've come this far in this our discussion, answering questions about our marriage. It's been a blessed 5 years, and this is your own way to celebrate with us. We are happy. Please wish us happy anniversary in the comment section. This is our 5th anniversary.
Yeah, thank you so much, and for the time. We are grateful. Continue to pray for us, and we are also praying for you that God is going to help you, who is trusting for a marriage that in some years ahead you'll also be celebrating 5th anniversary like this, and we are hoping that why not, we are going to celebrate a golden anniversary. And please, thank you so much. Please subscribe to this channel and share with others, so that maybe somebody will learn other young people may learn something out of our experience, and they will not repeat the errors that we may have repeated these 5 years. You know, our purpose of sharing is because we want you not to repeat those errors. Your marriage will even become better than ours. So your first 5 year experience should be better than ours.
That's
because we
right.
have shared our experience with you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.